Wow. In a little over a week, so much has happened. The Temtem stress test went live and smashed expectations, which seems to kind of be a common theme in the last couple days. I was really excited when we hit 100 subscribers, but then just 5 days later we hit 250. And just 30 minutes ago of this recording, Crema decides to release the Temtem official trailer, which reveals an entirely new endgame zone in it. I'll make sure to get to that in a bit, but first I want to start off by saying thank you all so much for reaching over 250 subscribers. I would have never thought we would grow this fast, and it kind of just goes to show how excited people are for the game and how much potential Temtem has. It's been just over a month now, and I promise to continue to push out quality content and not just spam out videos for watch time. And there's only 4 days left until early access finally comes out. Now if you haven't actively been following the game lately, just last Saturday the first stress test of Temtem went live, and what seems to be the common consensus is that things went great. The stress test lasted around 3 hours, and sure, 2 were filled with black screens and queue times, but people have to remember that the stress test isn't for them getting a head start for EA. It's about the devs getting the server ready for a huge amount of players to all be playing at once. And that's exactly what they did. It was very common to see the devs testing out new things and restarting the server just to see what works and what doesn't, while also keeping people very informed with the help of Yaw in the announcement channel, even though that didn't stop the people from spamming their Fs in the chat when the server did close. On the Twitch side of things, for the second stress test that just ended at the time of this being recorded, the viewers averaged around 5,000, which is nothing to laugh at and is pretty solid. Crema also decided to release some stats of the first stress test on Twitter, so I thought it would be fun to go through some of them here. The game peaked at around 20,000 users, 14,000 being in game and 6,000 being in the queue, and there was almost 38,000 unique players that joined the test at some point. It is important to keep in mind that the server capacity was tweaked to see if the queue times were working and everything was stable, so what that means is the server can actually go to a higher limit than what we have actually seen in the stress tests. Throughout all of the first session, they made 12 hotfixes to the server, which included several controlled restarts. The rest were mostly fixing bugs that were causing issues in the game. And now we're going to move on to the starter percentages. The lowest picked starter was Smazzy with 22%, followed by Crystal in second place with 31.5%, and Hoochik taking it all with 46.5%. As you can tell from the gameplay, I also chose Hoochik, and what can I say, the man's a beast, as you can see from the gameplay here. So yeah, Hoochik gang, rise up. As for the gender pronouns, 65% chose he/his, 30% chose she/her, and 6% chose they/them. They also included a little joke in the tweet saying that 100% of the stress test participants were in fact stressed out, which I can definitely agree on because there are some people bugging out on the general chat. People just gotta understand that this isn't permanent, it's gonna be reset at early access, so there's nothing really at stakes here. The purpose of the stress test is just to get the game ready for early access. In total, there was over 28,000 Temtem captured, the most captured one being Paro, and over 1,000 Temtem were evolved during the test. The official Temtem Discord server gained over 3,000 new members and 70,000 messages in 1 day of the stress test. Going back to Twitch, over 600 channels streamed the test, with unfortunately most of them being black screens, for a good portion of the time at least. Not all of it. And now with the second stress test being over, the next one is going to be Sunday, January 19th from 9 AM to 11 AM PST. If you haven't been able to make the other ones and you have a PC, make sure to join the Discord, and if you go to bot commands and you type .key, it will give you a key, it'll message you, so then that's how you play. You just plug that into your Steam code and you can play the stress test when the servers go back up. The more players we can get in the stress test, the better. It just helps get the game ready for early access, so yeah, I highly recommend you play next Sunday. Alright, so you saw it in the thumbnail, you saw it in the title, now we're going to be talking about the new trailer that Crema just released last Thursday. So first I'm going to play it and then I'm just going to break it down for you afterwards, so yeah.
If you want to be a great tamer, you must utilize all the tools available to you in the archipelago. Here's a quick look at some of our more in-depth systems for the more involved tamers. The 2v2 battle system allows for a much more strategic style of play. The stamina and synergy systems force players to plan out their moves in order to combo attacks and use defensive techniques for intense risk versus reward gameplay. The Breeding Center allows for a fully transparent look to raise more powerful and unique Temtem you can't find in the wild. Through breeding, newborn Temtem can inherit different aspects from their parents, such as techniques, traits, and single values. Some Temtem and attack techniques can only be acquired through the Breeding Center. And while you're out exploring, look for the ultra-rare Luma versions of your favorite Temtem with extra powerful stats. To aid in your hunt, Look out for more information on our Endgame area, which will feature new Temtem every week with higher Luma rates and better stat rolls. Temtem is designed from the ground up to innovate and push the boundaries of the creature collecting genre. Join us for our early access launch.
Alright, so first the trailer kind of starts off showing the combat system, highlighting stuff like synergies and stamina, obviously it being 2v2 every single time. Then we moved right along into breeding, where it shows how you can inherit traits and moves and SVs. Then we have them covering Lumas, which are basically shinies but with better stats. Up until this point, everything they've revealed we already knew. But then at the last like 10 seconds, they reveal this new Endgame zone, which is really cool. So first we see the shop with this nice little rock overhang thing. I'm assuming you can buy a bunch of Endgame items there to level up your Temtem and get different TVs and stuff like that. Or maybe this is going to be a place with like the online marketplace where you can sell your items to other players. And then we get this little cinematic view of a Platypet statue. Now, what I'm wondering is if this statue is actually permanent or if it represents the weekly Temtem that are going to be in the zone. Because maybe if the statue turns to a fire Temtem, then all the other Temtem in the endgame zone for that week are also going to be a fire type. We also see on the left hand side of the screen, we have the guy that sells Tem cards and all those tools you'll kind of need in the wild. But yeah, this endgame announcement is really huge. There's so much directions they can go in. But yeah, the Temtem in this are going to have better SVs, they're going to have a higher Luma chance, and they're all going to be changing daily with new challenges every week to really keep endgame fresh. On top of that, with breeding, and we have PvP also. It's going to keep the gameplay loop constantly going on top of all the Temtem they're going to add in the future since it's early access. We still have over half the Temtem left until the full release actually comes out in 2021. 2020 is going to be a massive year for Temtem, and I bet it's going to be great because all this hype we had on the stress test so far with the servers overloading, the developers being so active on what's going on the servers and the updates and stuff like that. Crema really has a shot here to wake up Game Freak. Even if you're a Pokemon fan and you don't really like Temtem, the worst it can do is push Game Freak to listen to their fan base and make better games for them. Oh, and going back to the stress test, there was this glitch where Max would just freeze there and you would just stand right in front of them and you couldn't do anything. It happened to like everyone and it kind of became a meme, so I just wanted to highlight this meme. I don't really know where I'm going with this video anymore. It kind of just devolved into me talking about stuff, so I'm probably just going to end it here. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you want to see more Temtem content and you're interested in the game, make sure to subscribe. Also like the video if you liked it. I'm going to leave a Discord link if you want to sign up for the stress test. Again, it's next Sunday of this going live. And another great place to stay updated with the game is the Temtem subreddit r/playtemtem. I'm assuming most of you already know about that since like 60% of my viewers are actually from Reddit. Oh yeah, and I will be live streaming the game on Twitch when early access goes live at twitch.tv/snallygaster2k. So if you want to stop by and ask some questions or you just want to have some good content, just go follow me and put the bell on and it'll notify you when I actually go live. But yeah, that's pretty much gonna do it. Bye.